the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us your name, please.
Nicholas Lee.
Probably gonna have to speak up just a little bit.
My name is Nicholas Lee, sir.
Okay. How old are you, Mr. Lee?
I'm 19 years old.
How old were you back in November when the events that we've heard about during this trial occurred?
19 years old.
Where do you call home?
My Uncle Leroy's house.
And what part of the world is that?
It's in Alpha, Florida, sir.
You live with your uncle?
Yes, sir.
What about your mother and father? Where are they?
My mother stays in Chipley. Seen my dad twice.
Okay. What race do you deem yourself to be?
I'm biracial, sir.
Okay. You ever use the term nigger?
No, sir.
You ever call anybody a nigger?
No, sir.
Would that be offensive to you?
Yes, sir. As well as the slang term that is called to whites.
Okay. How did you get to know an individual named Amy Kuko?
Through her sister.
How long had you known her at the time that the shooting happened up there at Sylvia's grocery store?
Almost 3 years, sir.
Did you have a romantic relationship with her?
Yes, sir.
Were you in love with her?
I have feelings for her.
Okay. Were you concerned about her situation with regard to her children?
Yes, sir.
Were you ready, willing, and able to try to help her out in dealing with that situation?
Yes, sir.
You've heard the testimony from several witnesses here today about the topic of a robbery coming up.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember Ms. Kuko discussing Mr. Patel and perhaps the fact that he might be carrying money?
Yes, I do.
How did she have that information? How was she privy to that information?
As I perceive, she worked at the store, sir.
Okay. Did you know Mr. Patel?
I had met him maybe one time.
Okay, so you knew him. You knew who he was.
Yes, sir.
But you didn't have any relationship with him. You never had a conversation with him.
No, sir.
Any reason to like him or dislike him?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. How did it occur that you ended up in Josh Sauerbeck's Ford Ranger vehicle back on November 13th? How did those events unfold to put you in that situation?
Well, Amy called him to come and get her to get some things for her kid. And
what was the plan? Once you got the things, the diapers and the other items for the children, what was the plan?
We were supposed to go back up to the store, and I was supposed to rob Vish behind the store.
Did you agree to do that?
Yes,
Did
I
you
did.
tell her you would do that?
Yes, I did.
Was that your intention to do that?
At the time, yes.
Okay. Now, you heard the testimony about running out of gas. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Is that what happened?
Yes, sir.
At some point, did you have second thoughts about carrying out a robbery?
Yes, sir.
And when did you start having second thoughts about that?
At the time when I was sitting behind the dumpster waiting on him, sir.
So that's later on. That's after you've run out of gas, you've obtained the gas.
Well, actually, that was the worst. I mean, coming down to the time of it, that was the worst. But I had second thoughts the whole time.
Okay. Now, you never got out of the vehicle during that first trip to Sylvia's, did you?
No, sir.
What were you doing? What were you thinking about?
I can't really give an accurate assumption. I don't remember exactly.
Okay. You didn't participate at all in going up there that first time?
No, sir.
What about the second time? You all have to come back and get more gas, right?
Well, we never actually stopped at a store.
All right.
We went to the next road and went down and turned around.
All right. Who gave those instructions about where to park the vehicle?
I did.
Okay. Why did you say that?
I was about to attempt to rob him.
Okay. So that was still part of the idea.
Yes.
Okay. Then you get out of the truck. Do you tell anybody? You heard Mr. Sauerbeck's testimony. Did you say anything when you got out of the truck?
He said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I'm gonna try and get Amy some money for her kids."
Okay. Now at that point, what was going through your mind that you were going to do?
At that point, I was thinking, I'm gonna rob him.
Okay. Now you get that back there behind the dumpsters. Do you see Mr. Patel? Do you see anybody else out there at that point?
No, sir.
How long are you out there altogether before you actually see Mr. Patel?
Well, I was behind the dumpster probably 5 minutes, approximately 5 minutes, and then I got up and I didn't want to rob nobody. I got up and walked back the same way I came on the fence line.
So
And
were you thinking about leaving then? Just
yes, sir.
abandoning the whole idea?
Yes, sir.
What changed your mind?
I remember before I got out of the vehicle, Amy said, "You better not come back empty-handed."
So you felt that you had to get money for her somehow.
Yes, sir.
So what was the next plan?
Well, I heard somebody speaking loudly, and I turned around and looked, and he was talking to somebody that was sitting on the bench in front of the store, and he walked back towards his house. So I commenced to walk back there as well. And I was in between. I was going in between whether I wanted to rob him or whether I didn't, because I'm really not that type of person. I've never been like that. I never have done anything like that before.
So when you saw him, did he walk up to you, or did you walk up to him?
Well, actually he put the trash in the dumpster, and I don't remember. I had my head down walking. I was contemplating, and when I looked back up, I was almost at the dumpster, and he was coming my way.
Okay. Did you talk to him?
I said, "Hey, Vish, Amy needs some money for her kids."
Okay. How did he respond?
He said, "I don't have no money for you or Amy's kids, but I got this." I believe he said, "I got this." I'm not positively sure that was his exact words.
Did he make any gestures at that point?
Well, he reached behind him.
Were either of your voices elevated? Were you talking in a loud tone of voice at that point?
Well, when he said, I don't have any money for you or Amy, but he said, I don't remember exactly the following words after that, but yes, it was in a loud tone.
And what did you think was about to happen at that point?
Well, a person that was up here testifying against me yesterday, the 2 spent shell casings that was on the ground, he's actually the one that shot at Mr. Patel.
Who was that?
Mr. Timothy Dodson.
Okay. So you thought maybe Mr. Patel had a gun?
Exactly.
Did you take your gun out and aim it at him and squeeze the trigger?
Yes, I did. When I felt that he was pulling the gun on me.
Where was the gun at when you fired it?
Right in front of me.
Okay. Waist level, you're indicating?
A little under my chest.
Okay. Did you try to take any money from Mr. Patel?
No, sir.
Take anything of value from him?
No, sir, I did not.
Did you think that if you
Yes, sir.
When you asked him about the money, did you have your gun out, or was it in your pocket, in your waistband? Where was
It
it?
was in my waistband.
Okay. So when you walked up to him and asked him for the money, you weren't pointing a gun at him?
No, sir.
How much money did you need?
Believe she needed 300.
And what was that money to be spent for?
To go and pick her kids up in West Palm Beach.
Anything else you want to add to your version of the events out there?
Only thing I really want to say is other people that has been up here has told some lies, but I did my best to sit there and take it in, and that's really it.
All right, thank you.
Cross.
Have you got a copy of the statement that you gave to the Captain Jimmy Stanford that night?
Yes, sir, I do.
You do? You have that with you up on the stand?
No, sir, I do not.
Do you recognize that as being a transcript of that statement?
From what I see, yes, sir.
We know each other from these proceedings, right? I'm Larry Baxter.
Yes, sir.
I'm the prosecutor. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you don't understand my questions or some of the terms that I use, just ask me to repeat them or rephrase them so you do understand.
Yes, sir.
All right? Now, to start off with, will you admit that you were the person that killed Vish Patel on the night of November the 13th, 2008?
Yes, I am.
And the marijuana that was placed in evidence, Exhibit 14.
Outside the scope of direct, Judge.
Overruled.
Will you admit that that was in fact marijuana?
From what I could see yesterday, it did not look the same as what I gave up.
Well, would you agree that what you gave Captain Stanford on the morning of November 14th when he was interviewing you was marijuana?
Yes, I do.
The marijuana that you had traded the gun for, the murder weapon?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you thought it was how much when you got it? How much was it supposed to be?
2 ounces.
2 ounces. Way over 20 grams, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, how long did you have this gun? 9mm Browning.
Well, actually, I hadn't had it a real long time, but like I said, the dude that actually shot at him previously, we loaned it back and forth between each other.
Well, you had it for what? Over a week?
Yes, sir.
Over 2 weeks?
No, sir.
Over a week.
Yes, sir.
Long enough to know how to operate this gun.
Yes, sir.
In fact, you had fired this gun before, right?
Yes, sir.
So you knew how to work the safety mechanism on it, how to load the gun, how to unload the gun, and how to carry it around without misfiring, right?
Yes, sir.
And isn't it true that you had shown this gun to some of your friends?
Yes, it is.
For instance, Timothy Dodson, you had shown him the gun before, right?
Yes, sir.
And Angie Lovelace, you had shown her the gun before, right?
Yes, I had.
In fact, the very day that this murder of Vish Patel occurred, you had shown her the gun and asked her if she knew anybody that wanted to purchase this gun or buy the gun, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And you also had a talk with her, a conversation with her about robbing Vish Patel on that day, didn't you?
No, I did not.
You don't recall having a discussion with her and your girlfriend Amy Kuko about robbing some individuals to get money for this trip to South Florida?
I never had any conversation with her about that. Maybe she overheard, but I never had a conversation with her.
Okay. You had a conversation with Amy about committing the robbery that day. Is that correct?
A robbery.
A robbery.
Yes, sir.
And during that conversation with Amy, you talked about who you could rob, whether that was Vish or Bubba or some other individual named Jackie. Isn't that true?
I don't recall the other two names.
But you do recall having a conversation with Amy in the presence of Angie Lovelace about committing a robbery of Vish Patel.
Yes, I do.
And during that conversation, you even talked about where you would need to be, back behind the dumpsters and waiting until he went to his house at nighttime, right?
Yes, I did.
And you talked about doing it on a Thursday when he would have money or have more money than usual.
Well, actually, it was just no set date. But she told me that that would be the best day.
She, you're referring to Amy,
Yes, sir.
your girlfriend. She told you that would be the best day, right?
Yes, she did.
Do you recall in that statement, I believe it's about on page 4, where you told the officer that T told you he carried a lot of money, that Vish carried a lot of money? Do you recall making that statement? Bottom of page 4?
Yes, I do.
Well, like I had told you, T had told me he always carries a lot of money around with him. T didn't ever tell you that. Amy told you that, didn't she?
Well, he had the conversation with us.
When did that conversation occur?
Like he said, a couple weeks prior.
Well, let's go back to the very day that this happened. The conversation that you had with your girlfriend, Amy. Was that in the car with Angela Lovelace?
No, it was not.
Well, where did Angela overhear you and Amy talking about this robbery?
Only thing I can think of is when she was picking oranges and we were standing up against the side of her vehicle.
That's when you and your girlfriend were talking about doing the robbery of Vish.
Yes, sir.
And you were not talking about robbing him with a knife. You were talking about using a firearm, this Browning, weren't you?
Well, actually, the plan was I was supposed to beat him up and take his money.
But you didn't want to do that, did you?
Exactly.
You wanted to use that firearm because you thought that if you carried that gun, it would make it easier for you to rob Vish, didn't you?
Well, actually, that was the plan, but only reason I pulled that gun out is when I felt threatened for my own life.
But Vish had never threatened you before, had he?
No, he did not.
Now, in addition to talking with Amy about robbing the store that Thursday, you also had talked with Amy a couple of weeks before over there at her mother's house about doing this robbery, hadn't you?
Yes, sir.
And on that occasion, Timothy was present, Timothy Dodson.
Yes, sir.
During that conversation, about using the firearm, this 9mm Browning, right,
In what way?
to rob Vish Patel, to
Depends.
threaten him.
No, I did not. Actually, that day, up until the actual day, it was talked about just beating them up and taking his money.
So then Timothy Dodson was not telling the truth when he came in here and testified yesterday either.
Correct.
And from your testimony, then Angela Lovelace was not truthful with her testimony yesterday either.
What are you referring to about her testimony?
Well, you said several people had lied. Who were you referring to when you said all these witnesses got up here and lied and you exercised restraint and control yesterday? Who was lying?
Mr. Sauerbeck and Mr. Dawson.
But not Angie Lovelace.
Not that I recall at the moment.
Well, let's look here at Mr. Dodson again. Isn't it true that you talked about robbing Vish Patel a couple of weeks before it happened?
Exactly.
And you were talking about this with Amy, and you say as well as Timothy Dodson.
Yes.
And during that conversation, you were talking about this plan, waiting till on a Thursday night, right?
Yes.
When he would have some money, right?
Yes.
And you were going to hide out there behind the dumpsters so you could attack him, rob him as he walked from the store to his home. Right?
That is what it was intended.
And even a day or two before, when you were walking over there in the trailer park over there, is it Shady Oaks Trailer Park?
Actually, that was supposed to be the exact same day that the stuff happened is what Mr. Dodson said. But if you'll notice, in Mrs. Lovelace's testimony, she actually dropped me off at the same time that he said he seen me at that trailer park walking around. I was at Miss Anna Nichols' house the whole time, that whole day. Except for the time that I left from my house, I went straight over there.
So are you saying you never had this conversation walking through the trailer park about hitting a lick with Timothy Dodson?
No, I did not.
So he's mistaken or he's untruthful when he says that?
Yes, he was.
But he was truthful when he got up there and said that he had overheard you talking with Amy about robbing Vish Patel a couple of weeks before it happened. He was truthful about that.
It was not truthful. He didn't overhear. He participated in the conversation.
But he didn't participate in this attempted robbery on November the 13th, did he?
I didn't attempt to rob anybody.
Well, let me put it this way. He didn't go with you and your girlfriend to go get money from Vish Patel on November the 13th, did he?
No, he did not.
He had his buddy home, didn't he?
I don't know where he was.
He was nowhere around that store when you tried to get the money with the gun, was he?
I don't know where he was.
He wasn't helping you, was he?
Not that I'm aware of.
So you'd had this firearm a week before. It was your firearm, right?
It was in my possession.
And a week before, there had been some shots fired at Vish Patel. You knew that, right?
Yes, I did.
That's because you were there, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
And had you confronted Vish Patel that week before?
No, I did not.
Where were you?
I was closer to the vehicle. He walked over to see if he could if Vish could I guess they had just closed to see if he could get some gas. And I'm guessing Timothy told me that he pulled out a gun or something, and he said he's got a gun, and I took off running and he started firing.
And where was Mr. Patel? Where was
I don't know.
So, are you telling us that you and Timothy had planned to rob Bish Patel the Thursday night before he was killed?
No.
Are you telling us you were with Timothy Dodson when he went up there and tried to borrow gas from Bish Patel?
We didn't try to borrow anything. We had the money to pay for the gas.
You were out of gas.
Well, the gas light was on and the car was sputtering.
Now, whose car was it?
It was, do I have to answer that question?
You most certainly do have to answer that question.
It was a chick named Caitlin's car.
And so you would have us believe that the car was almost out of gas, so Timothy walked up there and tried to get some gas from Mr. Patel the Thursday night before he was murdered.
He went first, and I waited for a couple of minutes, and then I started to walk over there. And as I proceeded to get closer, he said he's got a gun, and he was coming my way briskly, or at a fast walking pace. And I took off running, and I heard gunshots. I don't know where he fired from, or exactly how many shots he fired.
Then what happened?
Then we got in the car and proceeded to get as far as we could away.
So you would have this jury to believe that the Thursday night before, you ran out of gas, you and your buddy ran out of gas, he went up there to try to get him to turn on the pumps or open the store back up? Is that right?
Well, we was not totally out of gas, but yes, that is what we was intending to do.
And Mr. Patel chased him away with a foul.
I did not see it with my own eyes.
That's what you would have us believe you were told by Timothy Dodson.
Yes.
And as a result, Timothy Dodson fired some shots in the air.
I don't know where he fired them.
With your 9mm Browning handgun.
Actually, later on that night is when I took possession of it.
But you had it before, right?
Well, we had passed it amongst each other.
And when you go somewhere, you commonly carried a 9mm Browning handgun with you when you went places, just riding up and down the road?
Not casually, no.
Or did you have it casually with you that night, that Thursday night, when the two of you were riding in this girl's car?
Well, whose car are you?
You said it's some girl and some chick
Oh,
named Kate.
no, it wasn't in my possession. It was in his possession.
And what time was this?
I'm not sure.
Was the store closed?
Yes.
And did he go up to Mr. Patel's house, or did he catch him walking from the store to his house?
I'm guessing that he went to his house. He said he knocked on the door.
And what happened?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Well, you didn't ask him later that night? You didn't ask your buddy, your pal, what happened?
Well, only thing I can tell you is what he told me. He told me that he pulled out a gun and chased him away, and he started firing.
That Mr. Patel pulled out a gun and chased Timothy away.
Yes.
So Timothy started firing.
Yes.
And you would have us, the jury, and me, and the judge, and everyone in this courtroom believe that you went out there on the night of November the 13th, and you were going to ask Mr. Patel for a loan? Would you have us believe that?
Well, actually, it was intended for me to rob him, but I didn't want to do that. And quite frankly, I'm not concerned with overall thoughts. I'm concerned about compassion in my heart to let his family know that I'm sorry and that what happened was not meant to happen.
Well, that's nice, okay? We appreciate your compassion here today. But that doesn't change the facts, does it?
No, it does not.
You went there with a gun that night to rob Bish Patel, didn't you?
I went there with that intention. Yes, I did.
You would have us believe he had chased your buddy away a week before with a gun.
I did not see it with my own eyes.
Well, that's what your buddy told you, right?
Yes.
You would have us believe that's the reason you took a gun that night, only to protect yourself, right?
Well, actually, I was supposed to beat him up and take his money. Actually, to be more specific, pistol whip.
So when you left Anna Nichols' house when you left your house that day at lunchtime, that was what the plan was, to rob Bish Patel and beat him up, pistol whip him, and take his money, right?
That was the plan.
There was all this stuff about asking him for a loan. You never intended to pay any of this money back that you took from him, did you?
Yes, I did.
When were you going to do that?
If he would have been kind enough to loan me the money, I would have exhausted every means of mine to get his money back.
But if he didn't want to loan you the money, you were just going to pistol whip him and take the money anyway, right?
I was willing to accept the fact that he wasn't going to give me any money and leave.
And leave?
Exactly.
After all of this talk for weeks about doing it?
Exactly. I'm not that type of person. I've never done anything like this. It's exactly not me to do anything like this. I'm not that type of person at all.
But Amy made you do it, right?
Nobody put a gun to my head. I just had thoughts about it. And once it got down to the situation, I didn't want to do it.
But you didn't walk away, did you?
Didn't walk away. I thought he was pulling a gun on me.
Well, let's walk. Whoa. Excuse me. Bad question. I'll rephrase the question. Remember earlier when you sat up on that stand and told these ladies and gentlemen that you were sitting out there behind the dumpster, waiting on him, waiting to rob him, and in your words, you were having second thoughts when you were behind the dumpster? Remember that?
Yes, that is correct.
But you didn't walk away when you were having those second thoughts, did you?
Yes, I did.
Well, you didn't go back and get in the truck and say, hey, this is a stupid idea, let's get out of here.
Like I said, I remember that she said don't come back empty-handed, so I decided to try and see if I could ask him instead.
And the reason that you were having second thoughts is because you knew it was against the law what you were getting ready to do, didn't you?
That, and I'm not that type of person.
That, and you knew that if you would get caught for doing what you were going to do, that you would go to prison. You knew that, didn't you?
Tell you the truth, that was the last thing on my mind. I was more concerned about somebody else's well-being.
You were concerned about Bish's well-being. Is that what you would have us believe?
Exactly.
So that's the reason you walked away and got back in the truck that night, right?
I did not get back in the truck.
But I thought you were concerned and had all this compassion for Bish Patel.
Sir, like I just told you, once I remembered that she told me don't come back empty-handed, I decided to ask him instead of do bodily harm and take something.
So you would have this jury believe that you voluntarily abandoned your attempt or your intent to rob Bish Patel.
Exactly.
That's the reason you threw your gun down when you went up there to ask him, right?
Did I ever say I threw my gun down?
Well, you didn't throw your gun down, did you?
Did I ever say that?
You didn't throw your gun down, did you?
No, I did not.
Because you knew you may need that gun, right?
Never crossed my mind. Only reason I had that gun on me is because of the prior intentions that I had in mind.
Now, you said before in your direct examination when your lawyer was asking you questions, and you said it just a few moments ago, that you're not that type of person. What do you mean by that, you're not that type of person?
Well, I really can't explain it.
You're not the type of person that would commit a robbery, that would pistol whip someone to take their money? Is that what you're telling us?
Exactly.
But you would talk about it with your friends, right?
Yes.
You would talk about it with your girlfriend, right?
Well, at the time, it seemed the right thing to do until it came down to the time. Have you ever been in that situation?
And you would dress as a robber would dress, wouldn't you?
How was that?
Didn't you wear a hoodie that night?
It was chilly outside.
Chilly? Did you see the video that we all saw in here? Did you see that video of your girlfriend and Josh Sauerback going up there and buying gas just earlier that night? How Josh is dressed in a shirt and the shirt is open and your girlfriend's dressed in short sleeves? And you would have us believe it was hot? You wore that hoodie because you didn't want Fish or anyone else to recognize you, didn't you?
Well, if you also recognized on that video, when I walked across the screen, I had the hood down. If I didn't want anybody to see me, I had a ski mask at home.
You will agree that you dressed like a robber that night, don't you?
No, I will not.
Well, you will agree that you took a gun, that gun, to go there like a robber would take if they're going to rob someone, right?
That was my prior intentions.
Now, tell us again the words you say you used that night.
I said, Vish, Amy needs money for her kids.
And what did he say?
I said, I don't have any money for you or Amy's kids, and something else. And I don't recall his exact words at that time.
And then what happened?
And then he commenced to reach behind him like he was grabbing a gun. And as you recall, Timothy told me that he pulled a gun on him. So that's what I was in fear of. So I pulled the gun out and I fired once. If you notice where that bullet was placed, it was not a "I'm gonna kill you" shot. It was "I'm scared for my life" shot. Did you notice that?
It was a gut shot, wasn't it? Right in the stomach.
It was in his abdomen, sir.
In his stomach, right? Biggest part of a man to hit. The easiest part to hit. Right in his stomach. Right?
No, sir.
You got that statement there in front of you?
Yes, I do.
I'd like for you to turn over to page 6.
That's not necessary. I was coerced in that statement.
You were coerced into this
Exactly.
statement? Turn over to page 6. On page 6, Officer Stanford asked you who comes up with this plan and who all is involved in this plan. You see that at the top of page 6?
Yes, I do.
You just start talking about it was just you and Amy talking about it, right?
Yep.
Anywhere in there on page 6 do you say that Timothy Dodson was involved in this robbery plan?
No, I did not.
Because he was not involved in this robbery plan on Thursday night, was he?
Well, because exactly the reason I did not tell them that Josh knew that I was supposed to rob him. And neither did Amy. We were trying to save each other.
You and Amy were trying to save each other?
No, I was trying to save anybody from trouble. And the police told me if I gave certain parts of a statement in there that it would be accidental. And me, like Walter Smith said, naive 19-year-old, I was thinking, look, it was an accident. I'm sorry. And I will give whatever statement you want as long as you put it as accidental. I will take that because as my responsibility, I am 19 years old, now considered as a grown man. I should be accounted for every action. Does that answer your question?
These were your words on page 6, right?
Yes, they were.
You see, when the officer asked you, you said you rode back down to Thompson Street, and the officer said Jackson Street. He said Jackson, and you said Jackson Street. Would you read that paragraph to the jury? Would you read your own words to the jury that you told the officer that night?
Yes, I will. But before I read these, I will say once again, I was coerced to give this statement.
And where do you say in this statement anywhere, I don't want to talk to the police?
Well, if you'll turn over to page 2, it says at the very top of the page, and when we got out there, we asked you if you'd come to the Bay County Sheriff's Office and talk to us. Is that right? No, sir. Y'all just said, get it, come with me. Nobody asked me. And to tell you the truth, I had 50 pistols in my face. I was already scared about what had happened. What do you think I was going to do? Say, hell no, I'm not going. Is that what I was supposed to do?
Well, it sounds to me like you weren't letting them put words in your mouth right there. You wasn't going along with the flow. If something wasn't right, you were pointing it out to the officer, weren't you?
No,
you
sir.
said you came voluntarily. You said, no, I didn't.
Because that was not in our discussion.
You read your Miranda rights, right?
Yes, he did.
You signed them, right?
Well, at the time, he also lied. He said he read them to me. He never read those to me. He put his hand on the paper and said, sign this.
And you signed it and agreed to talk to him?
Yes, I did.
Because you wanted to tell your story. Right?
Because I wanted it to be accidental. The truth.
Go back over to page 6. If you would, read that statement there. Your words to Officer Stanford on the morning of November 14th. Starting with your word Jackson Street.
Jackson Street. Well, they pulled in there and I got out and walked the fence line until I was right at the dumpsters, and I waited and waited and waited. And I had started to walk back, but once I walked back, I had seen him come out front with the trash. So I went back around, and after he put the trash in there, I didn't point the gun at him or nothing. I just said, I was like, hold on, I lost my spot. I just said, I pulled it out and I cocked it back and I said, give me your money. I need it. And he was like, I don't have no money. I said, I don't have no money. And I was like, please, I need it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't forcefully like, give me your goddamn money or none of that. And I was just, you know what I'm saying? Because, well, anyways, and that's when he started coming towards me. And he was like, yeah, I got a gun. And then he grabbed it in my pistol, the end of the pistol, and pulled it down like this and was starting to turn it. And I don't know what happened. I grabbed him with one arm and the gun went off. And I thought I was shot. And he started screaming, And I still had the pistol kind of cocked ways in my hand. I hadn't dropped it. And I caught it with my hand and stuck it in my pants and ran.
All right. Now, those were your words, right?
Yes, they were.
You wanted to tell the officer what happened. You wanted to tell him it was an accident, right?
Well, after they told me what they told me, I wanted to give some kind of explanation that it was robbery, and they told me it'd be accidental. And now I'm sitting here with a first-degree murder charge, something that I do not deserve. And nobody understands me because you're not in my position. You was not there at that time, so you cannot say anything about what actually happened. Can you?
The story that you told the officer that night is different from the story that you told this jury in here today, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Because that night, when you had the opportunity to tell your story in the light most favorable to you, you told the officer that you pulled the gun out, that you cocked the gun, and said, "Give me your money." Didn't you?
Yes, I did tell them that.
Nowhere in there did you say that you had changed your mind and decided to ask for a loan. Did you?
Well, if you look carefully, it says, I waited and waited and waited. I had started to walk back, but once I walked back, I had seen him come out. That was when I remembered that she said, don't come back empty-handed, when I seen him come out. I left out some parts. Yes, I did.
Well,
and I also added some parts that was untrue.
You also left out the part about, I said, Bish, I need some money for Amy and the kids. That's not what you told Officer Stanford happened that night, was it?
No, it's not.
In fact,
Well, actually, I told them the
fact,
real story the first time.
would you
Wait,
instruct the
wait,
witness to
wait
answer
for a
the
question.
I accept.
In fact, you told Officer Stanford, I just said, I pulled it out, and you were talking about the gun, and I cocked it back, and I said, give me your money. I need it. And he was like, I don't have no money. You never said, Bish, can I have some money for Amy and the kids, did you?
Yes, I did. That was my very first statement that I gave. But magically, it's not in here, is it? No, it is not.
So was this what you told the officer on the morning of November the 6th, November the 14th? Is that the truth, or is that a lie about what happened?
There is parts of the truth in here, and there is also partial lies in there.
Well, when you told the officer that you pulled the gun out first and then cocked it and said, give me your money, is that the truth, or is that a lie?
That is a lie.
But you will admit that those were your own words that you heard on the recording yesterday, right?
Yes, they were.
And that's what you told the officer that morning.
Yes, it is.
Now, you made it clear in this interview there on November the 14th that your intent that night was to go there and rob Bish, and that you did not intend to go there and murder him. You made that clear in the statement, didn't you?
Yes, that was the intent.
And you tried to make that clear today, right?
What I've tried to make clear today is that I was coerced. And what really happened, I have told probably 3 times now.
You were coerced into giving a statement to the officer?
Some of the parts.
Do you recall giving an interview to Brady Calhoun?
Yes, I do.
Were you coerced when you gave an interview to the newspaper reporter?
No, I was not.
Was your memory better then or better today about the events that night?
Well, at the time, I didn't want to tell the truth that I actually pulled the trigger and shot him. I did not. I did not want to tell anybody that I was scared, and that's the reason that I pulled the trigger.
So you will agree in your statement to Brady Calhoun, you never told him that you confronted Bish and said, Bish, can you give me some money for Amy and her kids?
Yes, I did tell him that.
May I approach the
You may.
witness?
Show opposing counsel, please.
You remember that story being printed in the newspaper?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember Brady Calhoun writing your quotes to him?
Some of them, I don't remember exactly what he wrote.
Down there where he quotes you as saying, when you confronted Mr. Patel, Vish, I need some money, I'm in trouble. Did you tell him that story?
Yes, I did.
And that's different from the one you've told this jury here today, right?
No, it's not. What's different is the way he worded it. Just as, if you'll also notice in his thing, I gave the right dates of her kids' birthdays, ages, and names. He mixed those up too. So what is in this is not accurate.
So he's mistaken also. When he printed his story, this reporter is mistaken also.
Sir, I'm not saying that anyone is mistaken. I'm saying that half of the stuff that I've got, I was either coerced or it was worded wrong.
You say coerced. Did the newspaper reporter coerce you into giving an interview?
No, it did not.
In fact, you called him up and said, hey, I want to tell my side of the story. Right?
No, I did not.
How is it that he ended up interviewing you?
Well, they told me the paper was there to interview me, told me to get up and get dressed, and I got up and got dressed.
And so the newspaper made you give this interview.
They didn't make me do anything.
They asked you if you wanted to talk about what happened?
Well, nobody asked me did I want to. They just said the newspaper's here to interview you, get up and get dressed.
So you felt coerced to talk to the reporter?
Not as I felt to talk to the to give that faulty statement to the police, if that's what you're asking. If that's not, then please explain to me exactly what are you asking.
Did you tell the reporter that you shot Vish Patel during the interview?
I told them kind of sort of what I told the lie that I gave to the police, that we were tussling over the gun.
But there was no tussle over the gun, was there?
No, there was not.
But you thought you would throw that in because that way it looked like self-defense or it was an accident, and that would make it look good for you, right?
Well, I kind of sort of wanted it to be kind of sort of like my statement that I gave to the sheriff's office.
Even if that meant telling a lie.
Yes.
Because, well, would you agree with me you wouldn't hesitate to lie if you thought it would help you in this case?
That is incorrect.
Well, you lied to the officers. You lied to Captain Stanford, didn't you?
No, I did not. I told him the truth the first time, and he aided me in what to say. So basically, I was doing what he asked me to do.
And you told Mr. Calhoun a lie because you thought that would help you look good in the eyes of the public when they read this statement, right?
Correct.
Sorry. Huh?
Correct.
And Mr. Stanford coerced you into giving this statement just like Amy Beth Kuko coerced you into committing this crime that you're here for today, right?
What are you Because if you're asking me to commit the crime of attempted robbery, I never committed that crime.
You will agree that you went there that night with the intent to commit a robbery, right?
Yes, that was what was intended.
You had told your friends that you're going there to commit a robbery. That's what the plan was. Right?
Yes, that is right.
Planned that for days. Is that true?
Well, actually it was planned for weeks, but I never wanted to carry out the plan. Like Timothy said, just like you asked him yesterday, it went on so long you didn't believe it, correct? Because I didn't want to do it. You asked him that question with your own mouth.
You didn't want to do it, but you did in fact do it that night, didn't you? You're the
Do
one
what?
that went there with the loaded gun, right?
That's right. I went there with a loaded gun.
You knew it was loaded?
I knew it was loaded.
How many bullets did you have in the gun?
There was 7 bullets in the gun.
One in the chamber.
Correct.
And you will admit that you pulled that hammer back and cocked it and pointed the gun at Mr. Vish Patel, didn't you?
When I felt threatened, yes I did, and I pulled the trigger. I'm not denying that. But what I am saying is I was not...
You agree with me that a reasonable person would think they're about to be robbed if they had been in Mr. Patel's position that night.
Object, asking for speculating somebody else's state of mind.
Overruled.
You will agree with me that Mr. Patel would have felt threatened by your actions that night.
Same objection.
Same ruling.
Well, I can't give you that answer.
Well, let's see. This was in a dark area behind his store, right?
I was walking to where where he went. He went towards his house. So that was where I was walking to. Now where we met is not my fault.
That was his fault.
It wasn't his fault neither. It was the fault of the speeds of our walk initially.
You confronted him in a dark area, didn't you?
Yes, it was dark. It was partially lit though.
And you had that sweatshirt hoodie on, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And you argued with him, didn't you?
No, we didn't argue.
And ultimately, you pulled a gun, a loaded gun, and pointed it at him with the safety off and with the hammer cocked back, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And you, with your little finger right here, pulled that trigger on that gun, that gold trigger, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Nobody forced you to do that, did they?
Not other than my conscience of thinking that I was in danger. That's the only thing.
And you don't want this jury to have any sympathy for you because of your age at 19, do you?
I want them to be fair.
Fair. And you want them to hold you accountable because you're responsible for your actions that night, don't you?
That is right. I am responsible for going there and asking him a question and being in fear for my life and pulling the trigger. I am responsible for that. I do not deny that that's what happened. But I want you to know that it was not a robbery and I was coerced. And that is the truth. Above all, and you can say what you want, but can you look in my face and call me a liar?
Now, you told statements under oath that are inconsistent, aren't they?
Yes, they were.
And you admitted here today in front of this courtroom.
I gave
Lied to
one
the officer
statement.
As well as to Brady Calhoun because you thought it would be in your best interest, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
No further questions at this point.
We don't have any other.
All right, Mr. Lee, you can step down.